students, welcome back again. Now today we will discuss about the DNA fingerprinting. I think all of you have heard of it, and in various contexts here we use this term for identifying the criminal. When there is a certain crime, the cells from that location is collected, and we know that by DNA fingerprinting we can find out who is the criminal, or it is also used for paternity testing. Clear? So if there is any dispute in paternity, then the DNA from the father who is who may be the original father, who may be the claiming as father, are taken, and the DNA from child is taken, and finally this matched. Now, and nowadays you will also see that if there is any accident, severe massive accidents, then that DNA from there can be used for, if you can't identify the person, then the DNA from those areas can be used for determining whether it's matched with their family members to determine whether he was there or not. So these are the various, nowadays DNA fingerprinting is a very common and very important issue for identifying the important device to identify the particular individual. So today we will discuss how this DNA fingerprinting is done, and so let us find out. Now, just now we have talked about various aspects of DNA fingerprinting, and now so automatically a question will come: what is DNA fingerprinting? Now, actually it is a technique. What for? The technique is used for determining the nucleotide sequence of certain areas of DNA. Mind that is not the whole DNA, because major part, already we have known that 99.9% of our DNA is similar, in more or less similar to in all individuals. So major part of our DNA that is similar in all, more or less all individuals. So what we have to target? We have to target that unique part. That means that 1.1% which is not similar to various individuals. Clear? So determining the nucleotide sequence of that particular areas which are unique for that individual, that means that 0.1%. Clear? And this DNA fingerprinting can distinguish from one human being to another human being. Exception is there, especially in the monozygotic twin. Clear? If there is no further mutation, so monozygotic twins we cannot identify properly through this DNA fingerprinting. And the basic thing is that another way is there, the skin fingerprints we can alter through the plastic surgery. There is no known method to alter DNA fingerprints. Clear? DNA fingerprints cannot be altered because all the cells in our body contains the similar set of chromosomes. So we can get, it is probable that we will get that all this similar DNA sequences in all cells. So now what is done? First of all, the DNA from the human cell is extracted. Clear? The DNA from the human cell extracted, and it is passed through density gradient centrifugation, and we know that 99.9% when passed through density gradient centrifugation will form a bulk. Clear? That is the bulk DNA which will form a major peak, and the rest, that is 0.1%, which is unique to each and every individual, that will form a small peak. Clear? So this is our target region. We because we want to distinguish one person from another, so we will mainly target the areas where there are differences are there. So this region is called satellite DNA. Clear? So this small peak, the region which is unique to all, is called, forms a small peak, and that is called satellite DNA. So this satellite DNA, clear, is our target region which will be collected, and there are various types of satellites. So various types of satellites are there depending on whether, you can see here, whether the satellite region is reach in AT or reach in CG, or whatever the length of the satellite is, or whatever the repeats, clear, how many repeats are there, number of repetitive sequences. So depending on this various criteria, this satellite DNA is divided into microsatellite, mini satellite, etc. Now this mini satellite region contains that hypervariable repeat. Clear? So mini satellite regions contains the hypervariable repeats, and this is the major area which we are concerned with. So what is done with this mini satellite DNA, that is which contains hypervariable repeat, this is also called VNTR. So mind that, VNTR, that is variable number of tandem repeats. So this hypervariable repeated region, which is called mini satellite, it contains the VNTRs, which are the variable number of tandem repeats. And we know that even in the family also, actually these regions contains about 11 to 60 base pairs, and they are surrounded by restriction, and these are surrounded by conserved restriction sites. Clear? And even in the family also, since each individual gets 50% from DNA from its mother and 50% from father, and if there is mutation, that is also, there is any changes, that is also retailed, and finally the child is also getting that 50% of this father or mother's DNA, so along with these mutated areas. So obviously this variable number of tandem repeats also differs in the family members also. Now the second part, so till now we have discussed what is DNA fingerprinting, and now we will move on to the technique which is actually used in the DNA fingerprinting. Clear? So technique which is used in DNA fingerprinting. So first of all, what is done, the DNA from the cell, clear, is extracted. Clear? By density gradient centrifugation, the satellite region is separated, and that we will mainly move with the satellite region. Now this region is amplified through polymerase chain reaction. Clear? So because the satellite region contains the unique sequence, so now this satellite DNA, now it is amplified by polymerase chain reaction, and now after amplification, clear, these are fragmented by various restriction, by the various, so they are fragmented by site recognizing restriction endonuclease, and as a result the VNTRs, separate VNTRs are cut separately. Clear? So separate VNTRs are cut separately, and now these fragmented DNAs or these VNTRs are now separated, clear, by agarose gel. They are separated by agarose gel, and these fragmented, clear, these VNTRs are called RFLP, that is restriction fragments length polymorphism. Clear? So they are called RFLP, or restriction fragments length polymorphism. Clear? These are the separated VNTRs, that separated fragmented VNTRs are called RFLP. Next, what is done, the DNA, these VNTRs are made single stranded by when they are treated by some alkaline chemicals, and they are split into single stranded. Clear? And then they are put into nylon or nitrocellulose, clear, over the agarose gel, and so already made DNA probes are there, cleared. So DNA probes are basically, now it is the probe which contains the artificially made, the synthetic nucleotide sequences, clear, which is known to us. Actually these the probes can be the taken from the cells, clear, which are actually found in the region of the crime, or this with the VNTR coming from those cells, or can be used as probes, because we have to match the VNTRs of the suspected person with that VNTR only. So VNTRs from this already known VNTRs, so this cell is already known to us, and now we are getting the DNAs from VNTRs from the other suspected persons. So this is can be considered as probes. So these probes are made, and now these nylon containing the single-stranded VNTR are immersed in a bath where these probes are added. Now what will happen if these probes get complementary, because it is already single-stranded, and now if these probes get complementary base pairs, clear, they will become a complement double strand, clear, that is hybrid, that is called hybridization, clear. And the regions which are hybridized, when we will look at by autoradiography or in the X-ray plates, clear, they will appear as a dark bands. The region which are hybridized will appear as a dark band. So think the person who is not the criminal, clear, when you are getting the DNA from that person and you are hybridizing with the probe, so automatically, since the person is not the same that of the person where from we have taken the probe, so the hybridization will not, they will not be hybridized properly, clear, because they are not getting the complementary base pairs. But when the person we are getting the cell from the who is the actual criminal, and when we are matching that with the probe, that means with the cells which we have got from the site of the crime, clear, the VNTRs, when we matching both this, then automatically they will hybridize, clear, because they are having the same VNTRs, so same complementary, so they will have the complementary bases and they will hybridize. So thus we can find out that which DNA, which cell DNA of which cell is actually matching or hybridizing, or which cell is not. And finally by this we can find out who is the criminal and who is the suspected only, not criminal one. Or likewise with the father and child will also have the similar VNTRs, they will hybridize. But if it is not the claim, if anybody is claiming for the paternity, then obviously this variable region will not be hybridized, clear, they will not match.